Was for the previous job. That was really good. So I just want you to guys, please go a little light on me today. Please go a little light. This is my first time ever doing stand-up. Actually, I'm not even sure it's my first time or not. I think I have done stand-up like 6 years ago. How about I tell you the story about when I first think I did stand-up, and you can tell me if it was stand-up or not. So 6 years ago, I was in university, young lad, and my friend was like, you know, brother, you're a smart guy. You are a smart guy, you're funny. And I was like, yes, bro, if only you wore a dress, I'd be into that. But he was like, you are so funny, maybe you should do some stand-up comedy. You should do some stand-up. And I'm like, okay, I don't know where I can perform. You just tell me where to perform, and I'll do it. He's like, okay, say less. What's gonna happen is, I will find a place for you to perform at. You just prepare the content, you prepare the material, and you will be 100% good. Me being me, I was like, perfect, let's do that. Moving this to the side. So, days turned into weeks, and a couple of weeks later, I get a call from my friend. He's like, bro, guess what? I got you a gig. I got you a gig. And I'm like, perfect. I have not been preparing any material, but it's totally chill. Just give me the details. When is it? Next week? Next month? I'll be organized. He's like, nah, you heard wrong. It's tonight. And I was like, what? Bro, are you serious? He's like, yeah, it's tonight. You're performing tonight. I'm like, okay. Me being me, I like being uncomfortable. So I got ready and I got my material. Obviously, I procrastinated, so I didn't have it written down. It was just in my head. So I showed up. I'm about to live my dream that my friend told me I'm meant to live, which is apparently to be funny, a stand-up comic. So I show up at the venue. He's saying, show up tonight at University Hall. There'll be a crowd. You just show up, come with your material. So I show up, and I remember at the stage right here, yeah? I remember the stage, and I see this guy dancing to some Chinese song. Break dancing, a Chinese guy dancing to a Chinese song on the corner. And obviously me, I'm getting really nervous. So I can't really focus on the diversity too much. I'm just getting nervous, and my knees are weak, palms sweaty, vomit on my shirt, mom's spaghetti. And then, right then, they say, okay, your next stand-up comic, next act is Arjun. So I come up, I'm feeling myself, I'm feeling the adrenaline, I'm feeling pumped. I'm not even scared anymore because I feel so much like just excitement. So I'm there with my content. Joke number 1 comes out, 0 laughs. 0. And I'm like, maybe this is a tough joke. Maybe I'll crack another one. Joke number 2, 0 laughs. Then I'm like, there's definitely something wrong here. Joke number 3, again 0 laughs. That's when I do a little bit of introspection. I look a little closely at the crowd. I see a sea of people, a sea of Asians. There's blank stares. Then I look at the judges and I see a little bit closely a sign right below where the judges are sitting, and it says, I read it for the first time, it says Chinese International Student Society Talent Show. That's when I realized I'm performing in front of people who barely speak any English and who just came to Australia. Even the acts, that explains why the dancer was dancing to a Chinese song. It didn't strike me. Then I look back and I see a bunch of Chinese advertisements, which I didn't see before. I felt, ladies and gentlemen, like I was a spokesperson for Xi Jinping at that moment. So that's pretty much my first time doing stand-up. I'm not sure, to your perspective, I think that's more of a soft launch. It was pretty bad for my ego, my confidence. But ultimately I went down, and the only reaction I got was from my friend, who gave me a pat on the back, and he said, you did stand up in the wrong language. But here I am today. But on an actual serious level, I'm a professional, professional at being a disappointment. So basically, in case you didn't notice, I'm Ram. And in our culture, you can be 3 things. You can be a lawyer, you can be a doctor, or you can be a disappointment. I'm option number 3. I remember when I was a kid, I used to watch a lot of Zack and Cody. You guys remember Zack and Cody? Disney Channel? I wanted to be like Zack. I believe that I could have the blonde hair, I could have the charisma, I could have everything, I could have the American accent. So I went up to my dad and I was like, Papa, I know what I want to be. I was about 7 years old. And my dad looked at me and he's like, son, This is the moment. I know in his head he's thinking this guy's gonna say he wants to be a doctor. So then I go to him, I'm like, Dad, I want to be an actor. His face went from happy to disgust within 10 seconds. And he was like, what? I said, yeah, I want to be an actor. He's like, no, son. You're pronouncing it wrong. It's not pronounced actor, it's pronounced doctor. So that is when I realized I was definitely doomed to be a disappointment. But actually, I'm not an actor, despite what you think. I know you think I'm really charismatic, good looking and stuff, but I'm not. I'm actually a social worker. And social work, if you didn't know, in Australia, it's mostly Anglo-Saxon female ladies, so I'm definitely a minority here. I remember when I went to my social work placement, it was in a place called Bendigo. Does anyone know Bendigo? Back and beyond, a couple hours from here. And that's a very Anglo-Saxon community. I remember the only brown person I saw was when I looked in the mirror. I saw no one else. So I went to the hospital, because my placement was in the hospital. And I showed up and the receptionist was so excited to greet me. She was just ecstatic. She's like, you're finally here. I'm like, I didn't even introduce myself. She's showing more love to me than my mother and father. How are you, sir? Just giving a joke. So I'm just talking about how I went to the hospital as a social work student. So I'm there at the reception and this lady's saying, oh my God, we've been waiting for you for hours. We even called you. I look at my phone, no missed call, nothing. And I'm like, I can't even introduce myself. And she's like, yeah. We literally just called you. We've been waiting for hours. Computer number 7. Tech support, right? Ladies and gentlemen, my first day there as a social work student on placement, everyone thought I was tech support. For the rest of my placement, I was a disappointment. Not only because I wasn't a doctor, but also because everyone thought I was tech support. But I just about passed. And then I graduated as a student. I became an official social worker. And I don't know, but I feel like first days of doing things, I always leave a mark. My first day on the job, I also was working in a hospital. And this was as a paid social worker. I went, I saw my boss, and my boss was like, Arjun, if you're doing anything, remember, the first thing you need to do is always read the notes. Always read the notes of the patient before you go in so you know what you're talking about. Of course, I was like, yeah, you don't know what you're saying. I can take over this. I've been a social worker for like 5 minutes. So I go to the ward. I see this frail lady. I was working in geriatrics, so most of the people were like 90 plus. I see this lady and I say, hi, I'm from social work. Can I speak with you? And then she's like, what? Bear in mind, this is during COVID, so we all had masks. We all had those masks. And I say again, can I speak with you? Then even louder, she goes, what? Third time, ladies and gentlemen, at the top of my lungs, I said, can I speak with you? And she's like, huh? You want to sleep with me? So this was an 85-year-old lady, roughly, who thought I wanted to sleep with her. Obviously, nurses rush in, and they're like, what's going on? And I said, no, I'm a social worker. This is my first day. Trust me, I'm not that down to any funky business. Security comes as well. So I'm definitely not on a very good note there. She snatches the notes from my hand and she's like, did you read the notes? And I said, no, I didn't, if I'm being honest. She's like, okay, because did you read that she's half blind and half deaf? That was my first day on the job. So yeah, not very good with first, I have to say. But I am on a personal level, also on dating apps, sir. I'm also on dating apps. And I've not been having very good luck, I have to say. I'm trying to be like, my spirit animal is a cockroach. I want to be like a cockroach because they're very adaptable, if you think about it. They've survived for hundreds of millions of years, longer than the dinosaurs. And even now, if you have that bug spray, they don't die. They build DNA to become even stronger. They come back like the Terminator, right? These cockroaches don't die, man. So I want to be like that. I want to be resilient. And I want to show that resilience on my dating profile. I want to show the masculinity, the muscle, everything. So each time I'm just changing things to see what will get me more likes and more matches. It's not working. So I realize if anyone's not getting matches, I think it's more to do with the other person. I started realizing the reason that I'm not getting matches is because people are too attached. They're scared of getting attached to me because they know they have a lot to lose by getting into a relationship with me. So this is actually the reason that I'm not getting matches. So if you're not getting matches, have no fear. It's because you're too great. I remember my friend was showing me, look at all the matches I got. I'm like, okay, look at all the matches I don't have because I'm emotionally mature. Because women are scared of attachment. So that's pretty much my life right now. Trying to work on the dating apps, not really getting good luck, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, with that said, I hope you enjoyed this comedy. This is my first time. And, if you didn't like it, then I will go back to my chair like a cockroach. But I will come back stronger like a cockroach, more resilient. And yeah, peace out. Bye.
Sorry to get Chinese.
I'm gonna get cancelled, man. Okay, yeah. Go ahead, whoever's next.